Hello again, everyone. All right, I just need to do a follow-up to the who, what, where, why, and how video I made. There was a bit of a misunderstanding. Apparently, it's the ex-wife who's making the accusations about the tea and being up at night, which is even better for this individual because any mediator is going to roll their eyes at that. Any judge is going to roll their eyes at that. Okay, but the who, what, where, why, and how is still important. Okay, which is what you need to find out from your son about the cutting, where it happened, who was there, where it happened, what did you use, yada 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 yada. Okay, it's important. Okay, because it probably still did happen at her place. The fact that, like I said, when I went through my mediation with my ex, 11 o'clock isn't late to stay up. A kid drinking tea isn't a big deal. Kids drink soda all the time. Kids have been drinking sugar and candy and all the time. So you giving him tea, if she thinks she's going to use that as some kind of weapon against you, it's absurd. It's absurd. It's even more absurd. If those are her accusations, that you didn't check in on him till 11 o'clock at night at 11 years old on a weekend when you have him and he's in his bedroom in bed. I mean, what did he want? Should I go in there and beat the hell out of him? If he's not tired, he's not tired. When he's going to fall asleep, he's going to fall asleep at that point. You're just going to make him sit there in the dark, and you got to let a kid be a kid sometimes. And most mediators understand that, and most child courts understand that. It's not 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He's not getting into beer or drugs or obesity and doing crazy. She's talking about tea and sitting in his room till 11 o'clock until he falls asleep. Those are absurd accusations. The one that's concerning is the cutting. But that's where you need to get into the who, what, where, why, and how. Everything else that I said about, finding a neutral therapist and so on remains. All that remains. So the fact that it's not actually the child making the accusation, which does happen in a lot of cases, that it's her making the accusation is even better because it just makes her look petty and silly and stupid. Okay, and once you can get into that who, what, where, why, and how of it, her story is going to fall apart, and you're going to see that it's probably her abuse, that if it is happening, that's causing it, if it even happened at all. Because remember, 11-year-olds scratch themselves, they get into things, they jump around, they dive in the bushes, they're tumbling, they're flying through. That's just what 11-year-olds do sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of times. A lot of these bumps and bruises can be passed off as to a kid being a kid. But for her to say she's cutting because of you and he's on tea and he's in his room and doesn't go to sleep till 11 o'clock at night at 11 years old on a weekend, that's nothing. It actually makes her look bad. But get into how specifically this cutting is happening, where it's happening, why it's happening, what's being used, what's going on in his head. All that remains. So a little clarity, a little addendum to that first video. Hope it helps. Good luck. And again, to everybody who enjoys this channel, please consider making a contribution to the GoFundMe link in the description box. And remember, if you do make a contribution of any amount, your video gets made right away, as I do have many, many of these to go through. This is Ollie Matthews. See you all again shortly. Bye.